Girl, really?
It got messy tonight. Now, if y'all haven't heard the leaked audio of Cardi B going off on Ice Spice and Lotto, I hope y'all watched that video on my channel and y'all better have liked it too. So, I don't know if y'all noticed, but earlier I put out a video of Joe Budden talking about the beef with Cardi B and Nicki Minaj is never going to end. And don't y'all think it's crazy? A few hours after I put out that video, then we have this big blow up. It's almost like Never Gave Up knew something was coming. And I think y'all should have knew something was coming, because when Nicki posted this saying basically she was back in the studio, I said, okay, the queen is ready to rumble. I knew something was coming. I had a little more legit evidence than this clip, but let's get to it. So shout out to Armand Wiggins for cataloging this whole back and forth on Twitter. Basically, Nicki Minaj woke up today and she chose violence. Now, this is what's been going on. If you have any type of brain, y'all know when Cardi put out Am I the Drama, she was trying to compete with the first week album sales of Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2. And I think Nicki heard all of that, and she was in the cut, and she was waiting for her time. And I think she strategically picked today because now the first week album numbers are out. So this back and forth, it can't help Cardi B get any more album sales to top or eclipse Pink Friday 2. And I had the number off earlier. I said Pink Friday 2 did 236. The people are telling me it did 228. I don't know where I got 236 from, but it's still around the same amount of, album sales. But okay, Pink Friday did 228, and now Am I the Drama did 200,000. And I do want to say this. I'm a little disappointed by Cardi B's numbers just because she did a lot. DoorDash. She did every interview you can think of. She did everything except for Castanet, basically. Sat down with everybody, talked to everybody, did all the extra stuff. She put out TikToks and Instagrams and told people to buy the album. She did a discount for the album. It was $5. She was selling the album for a hot and ready pizza. Cheaper than a hot and ready pizza. And she still couldn't do over 228. And I do feel bad for Cardi in that way. And so it seemed like Nicki was throwing a little shade at Cardi today. And so Armand posts these couple of tweets from Cardi, and it said, "You must have missed me. Huh, crazy. Now kiss my feet. Nothing more annoying than a bored bit." And I'm assuming that this came after Nicki said this earlier. I think this is when Nicki started waking it up, and she was like, "To every enabler, never provoke a writer while they're writing. You joined the game as a willing participant. Don't try to back out now." 327-26. Now, this has a lot of people excited. I thought because Cardi wasn't able to outsell Pink Friday 2, we wouldn't hear from Nicki Minaj for a very long time. And she's saying, no, I'm coming top of 2026. So I'm happy for the Barbs. I'm happy for new music. And it is what it is. And y'all see she adding Rock Nation. She's still going at Rock Nation. Remember, Cardi B got Jay-Z to clear the Imaginary Players beat. And so Nicki is probably looking at Cardi like, hold on. You got Rock Nation bigging you up. You got all of these basically advantages to do really well, and you still couldn't outsell me. So they said Nicki started putting out a lot of little subliminals. One thing I noticed was the $4.99, which was the discount that Cardi was selling that album at. And I don't get all of these other little subliminals, but it was like 4 things. But the $4.99, that was obvious to me. So then Nicki started, quote unquote, gagging it, okay? And we will see a lot of this because they started going back and forth with little like toddler rhymes. And so, and obviously y'all know Cardi said a line like this in her new album. And so Nicki said, A, B, C, D, G, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, rap like Barney, still ugly. Then she said, damn, Billboard, I mean, I'm winning, but I'm still bored. That was a response to Cardi saying, you know, I hate a bored bit. Nicki says, as for your career, dead, Ghostbuster, okay? And this is when things started to go viral on Twitter. You had Nicki Minaj say, Barney B, because a lot of people try to act like Cardi B looks like Barney. And I might add the little Barney picture that was floating around in the thumbnail. Now, here's the crazy thing. A lot of the pictures that I'm going to show y'all today, I see each of the fan base making that their Avi. So you got Cardi B fans making a couple of these Nicki Minaj pictures that Cardi B will later on post as their Avi. And I see the Nicki Minaj fans posting the Cardi B Barney pictures as their avatar, okay? And so we see Cardi come back and she says, the power I have, making these bit come out of rehab every time. Go to your effing room. And that's another narrative. You can see Cardi B was trying to push, you know, like Nicki Minaj is on drugs, which people have said in the past. And so Nicki came back and she said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is I'm Heineken Coochie. I didn't really get that one, but people said it was about that video of her putting the bottle in her Fajiji, the one she talked about in her lawsuit with Tasha K. But also, I was like, was that a play on her sister's name too? You know, her sister named Hennessy. So it might have been a double entendre. So, you know, Nicki can't get like that. I'll give that to her because she kind of stumped me with that. And you see Armand was posting that Barney B went viral. JT jumped in and she said, LOL, that bit home ugly and mad. No celebration. I would have been breakdancing right now if I was number one, but she knows she lied. And I'm thinking when she said she lied, it was a lot of conversation about some missing sales from Cardi's first week. So I don't know if JT is talking about Cardi lying about the sales or if she's talking about when her and Cardi was going back and forth and she claims that Cardi was making up lies on her. If y'all don't remember JT and Cardi B going back and forth, I posted that video a couple of days ago. Now, then Nicki posted Barney Dangerous. By the way, some of this stuff is still trending on Twitter. Cardi B responded and said cocaine Barbie. All right. So this is when stuff starts to get a little heated because we're going to start talking about kids and all this other stuff. By the way, some people were saying that today is Nicki Minaj's son's birthday. And so they were like, hold on, you supposed to be worried about your kids. Why are you going back and forth with Cardi? I'm not trying to bring children into it. I'm just saying it is going to get nasty, and that's some of the stuff that I heard, okay? And I brought up the children because Nicki comes back and she says, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, 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 pregnant, play with his bussy. Now, obviously, that's a shot at Stefan Diggs. Nicki says, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, 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 surgery to look like me. How y'all feel about that? Tell the rat and tell Jay-Z Rico fraud and perjury. So now she throwing Jay-Z in it. Then she said A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, 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 heavy tongue, E, 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 E. I think that's going to, you know, sometimes we can barely understand Cardi on the records. I told y'all that. Y'all was trying to get at me when I did the album review. I like the album, but sometimes y'all know she get a little heavy with the tongue. I don't know. So then Cardi started going that big zoo. And Cardi said, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, your man have to snatch coochie. Coochie tastes like honeycomb. Your bro be touching, and y'all see what it say on the screen. I'm not going to say that. It started to get low. That's what I'm saying. Like, they started talking about kids and husbands and boyfriends. Nicki responds and she says, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, E, 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 E lied and said mom was Trini. Okay, and this is another thing about Cardi. A lot of people just don't believe that she's mixed. A lot of people just feel like, you know, she's over the border, as they might say. Because I forget if she, I forget what's her race that they say she is. So I'm just gonna say over the border. Look, I'm not gonna get too deep in that. I would say something, but you know, that's the whole thing with Cardi. People don't believe that she's mixed, and people feel like she cares more about that heritage than she cares about her black side. But she always saying the N-word in that leaked audio I played y'all. Nicki says, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 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 G. He don't want to dig my big coochie. Now, you know, dig, Stefan Diggs. So she's saying, hold on, your man, you know, he kind of sus, and he don't want that coochie. He want the bus, you know. Then Nicki started with the photos, and she posted a picture of a Cardi B outfit with Barney with a Cardi B tattoo, and it's Barney with the Cardi B hairstyle. Okay. Cardi came back and she said, damn, she's streaming Magnet hard as hell. Because y'all know Magnet, I think that's where the ABCDGFGGEEE line came from. Okay. Now, then Nicki came back and said ABCDGFEEE, jump out the plane, EEEEE. And if I remember correctly, this is from the Imaginary Players line where she was talking about, you know, if I did y'all numbers, I'd da 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 da. And I like that verse, but now she's saying, okay, this is Nicki saying, you didn't outsell me, so it's time to jump out that plane. Pause. And then Cardi B posted a picture of, if y'all don't know, this is Nicki Minaj's brother who went to jail. Y'all know about that whole story. I'm not going to bring it up. So I guess Cardi said, if we posting pictures, let me post this. And this is her brother with a pink wig on like a barb. Now, Nicki said ABCDEFGGG off the charts with big belly, running trains, barefoot, still smelly. Still, you could not outsell me. Also, some people told me they feel like Nicki was just trolling. Like she wasn't even taking this seriously. And Cardi started getting in her feelings. Now, see, this is when people feel like Cardi B gave up, started swinging the white towel. And I want to know if y'all agree with this. Do you feel like when Cardi said this, you know, it was basically over? She basically said, you know, I'm nowhere as big as Nicki Minaj. Remember, if y'all don't know, she was on Twitter talking crazy like, wait till these next week sales, they're going to gag. And it sounded like she was talking about the barbs. But Cardi said, why you keep bringing up my album? It's not the gag that you think it is. You've been in the game for like 16 years. You need to compare yourself to your peers that started around your time. Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Drake. Those are the numbers you need to be competing with. But you can't because you're doing lower than all of them. I was in high school when you came out. WTF is you comparing yourself to me for? Okay? So to me, this is like her saying, you know, I'm not even in the same category as you. You need to go pick on Drake and Rihanna, not me. And I can understand why some people felt like that. Then she posted a picture of some barbecue. And I can't lie. If Cardi cooked these ribs, they did look good. It did make me want some barbecue. I saw a lot of people saying that. Cardi said, nah, because I was really baking ribs and making blondie brownies. And here come this bit bothering me on a damn Monday. I'm not going to lie. If this is how Stefan Diggs is eating, I think he should stop all of that cheating. I wasn't trying to make that rhyme, but so Nicki continued with the pictures. She posted Jay-Z with a pink wig on. She posted another Cardi B Barney picture. This picture is so funny. Like I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. Then Nicki posted another picture. I'm not going to show it because it was blurred out on Twitter and I want to be careful. It's that picture of that alien from what's that American cartoon show, and he was bending over, spreading his cheeks or something like that. And so Nicki said, raw dog and pregnant with the fourth baby, Barney B, BV, HPV, allegedly. Okay. And this is when Cardi had enough of the pregnancy joke. She said, all right, now this is the third tweet talking about my pregnancy. Like you wasn't going to different fertility doctors because you couldn't reproduce from all of them perks scrambling your eggs. Not allegedly. Lord, protect my babies. Also, Cardi been saying that lately, like she been praying over her children and her baby. She feels like it's bad energy in the air. Maybe she could sense the Nicki Minaj hate. I don't know. By the way, Ice Spice did a little laughing emoji during this whole thing. All right, so that's pretty much it. So who do y'all think won that? If you ask me, it did come off as if Nicki was just playing on the phone and Cardi, seemed to be taking it a little more seriously. I wish Cardi would have just kept with the jokes, not trying to be so serious, because it does make you look a little hurt as Nicki just continues to troll with the ABCDGFG stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it did seem like Nicki was having fun and Cardi B was bothered. And in my opinion, I think Cardi should have expected this. And I think you should have trained yourself to know how to handle this when it came. Because if you ask me, and I know I always say this when it's beef, but I do feel like the person who just doesn't respond and ignores you always looks like the winner and the more mature person to me. Because why should Cardi even respond to this? Okay, you didn't outsell Nicki, but your album is doing really well. A lot of people like it. A lot of the critics like it. You do have everybody on your side, whether it's the record labels, Jay-Z, whoever. In the industry, yeah, you're in a better place than Nicki Minaj at this moment. That doesn't mean that if Nicki dropped right now, she couldn't outsell Cardi. I'm just saying you see Nicki at odds with everybody in the industry, and Cardi is being accepted by everybody in the industry. Not to mention you having a baby, you got your dream boyfriend who having, all of these women pop up saying he got them pregnant and he might have done something to another guy and, might have legal ramifications. But you claim you're happy. You want to hold his ding-a-ling when he pee-pee. So you should be in a good space. You was cooking ribs, and these ribs look really juicy and scrumptious. I like a little crisp on them. Them ribs look really good. I ain't gonna like them ribs do look good. You should have been in a good place. You had happy food. But that lets me know that she really had her heart set on outselling Nicki. And I think everything Nicki said today, it pinned in on that insecurity. I didn't outsell Nicki. That was her whole goal. I think she did everything. She did all that extra shit just to outsell Nicki. And the fact that Nicki was picking with that wound and that scab, it bothered her. Now, don't get it twisted. I do think shit went left when Nicki started talking, about her pregnancy and stuff like that. But Cardi was, going low too. And so some people say, I'm not like Michelle Obama. When you go low, I go lower. And I think that's what we saw. So I think that's all fair in war, or all fair in love and basketball or whatever. But as usual, the fan bases are ablaze. You got Cardi fans feeling like she won. You got Nicki fans feeling like Cardi won. Is this the new Ja Rule and 50 Cent? I don't know. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about the events tonight. It was very messy. And make sure y'all like the video. I would love a donation for a change. I'm getting this work in for y'all. I'm begging too. If Cardi B can beg for album sales, can I beg for donations? Hit the Cash App, the super chat, something. I'll see y'all next time. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we'll see what happens next with the Cardi and Nicki saga.